Wieso machst du Aufnahmen stoppen? Alright, we have our first game of the top 8.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So good you could join us today. This is the first round of the top 8 from the 3K Legacy in Sursee,
Sursee?
where 78 players got reduced to 8 players, and we have facing against each other Pascal Schmid, and he's playing blue, black, green mid-range. We have seen him play in the second round against Michael Schlegel, which is on a Maverick list.
Yes, he is.
Introduce the players for us.
We saw. I don't know either of them very well, to be honest. I haven't seen them. We saw Pascal Schmid already on camera today. And we saw a Maverick deck piloted from a different person, though. Is it TNT or Maverick?
No, it's Maverick.
Okay, sorry. Crowd going wild over there. I think it's a smash for the tournament. Anyway, he plays a Fauna Shaman, a beautiful card, opposing a Deathrite and a Leovold coming down on turn 2, which is always very nice to have.
It's not that valuable in this matchup, to be honest, because there's not that much removal. Or I guess it's kind of good against equipments if he plays them.
Yeah, and Wasteland especially, I think, because this is one of the biggest concerns.
Yeah. And the downside of not playing many removal spells is that it's hard to deal with the Leovold.
Wow, is this a Glenalendra Archmage?
Yeah.
He plays one Glenalendra Archmage.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I love it.
Does he play like a Flicker Wisp or something to reactivate it? Or is it just the pure value of Glenalendra?
He plays Atrax. Is this, what is this? Is this 5 color?
Thanks for the coffee, man.
You're very welcome. I'm enjoying myself something different. It is a kind of a Maverick list with blue and black splash, I would say. So it's a green-white base, and he has a Spell Queller, Renegade, Rallier, Sanctum Prelate, all one-offs, and Arts of Pontiff, 1 True Name Nemesis, 1 Vandalia Click, 1 Atraxa, Prethoric's Voice, or Predator's Voice, I guess, and 1 Glenalendra Archmage.
So Atraxa is quite interesting because it doesn't see a lot of play. If I remember correctly, it's 4 mana and has, I think, Vigilance, Haste, Death Touch, something like this, and it proliferates at the end of each turn. So why do you think Atraxa is in this deck?
I want to read her before I give you an answer to this. So yeah, she's flying. She costs blue, green, black, and white. Has flying, vigilance, theft, touch, and lifelink. And yeah, at the beginning of your end step, proliferate, and it's a 4/4.
Is it just there because it's a 4/4 flying lifelink?
Death touch, and it seems like a really good card.
It's like a Baneslayer.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, quite color intensive, but I guess he manages that. Honestly, I mean, Proliferate with the Glenalendra Archmage is kind of bad, it seems to me, no?
It doesn't do anything with Glen. That can't be the reason why it's in there.
Oh, am I messing up the 2's abilities? Wait, 1 Proliferate, it doesn't give everything a counter which it already has.
Exactly. You choose which counters get another counter.
Oh, you get to choose. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Counters can get another counter. So you could put 1 on Atherwile, which is not that valuable.
Yeah.
I
mean, there's Scavenging Ooze with counters. He plays 1 spell starter Bright. God, is this list cute?
It's so cute. It's basically just a Fauna Shaman toolbox. And I'm assuming Pascal Schmid actually knows about this list because generally I don't think you force the Fauna Shaman as a buck player.
No. You force whatever comes of the Fauna Shaman, I guess.
Gabriel, why are you not in top 8? What happened, man?
Gabe joining us here.
Let me get a little closer. All right. What was the question?
What happened? How come you're not in top 8?
I got, horribly defeated by a Maverick.
By this list?
I think it's...
No, it plays blue as well.
No, it's different.
Okay.
It was straight green-white with all the hate pairs. No chance for me.
All the hate
to be honest,
pairs.
yeah. And then I just kill myself with ad nauseum on another match.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. But Hammer got into top 8, I think.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did.
Nice.
That's all right.
Oh, we have seen a Renegade Rallier, another one of returning Mother of Runes.
That's quite
so
nice.
much value.
That's quite nice play.
I don't think there's much better cards to return at this point.
What do you think about this list?
Lance is quite
Is that
cool as
Michael's
well.
list?
Yes.
So first of all, it's unusual. That's what I say.
I love like the Glenalandra,
Yeah.
Atarxa.
Thank you for your professional opinion.
Yeah, right. You're right. Well, no, I saw him play with it many tournaments before, and I think it's not only the deck list which made him or which brought him into top 8. It's also his proficiency with the deck. I
Yes.
think.
He likes creature decks,
Yeah,
mainly,
right,
whatever
right.
the format it
And he
is.
appears to be liking toolboxes as well.
Yeah, and I mean. There is merit to having a creature for every situation, whichever might come up. I think his deck positions well in a format which grinds, which is grindy.
Yep.
And that's exactly what showed up today. I think if we would have a closer look at the
There's-
metagame, what would your conclusion be on that?
I do agree. There's not too much fast combo. I mean, there's still a couple of dredge players, and I think 2 to 3 storms were at least here.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't see any show and tell actually.
There was some show and tell. I think 2
There
or
was?
3. Yeah.
Okay.
Storm players?
2 to
I
3.
saw at least 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but that's not a lot. I mean, if
No.
you
No.
that's 1%, 2%,
Yeah.
3.
You still
That's
don't want to go to a tournament and have like a bad matchup that you almost can't win.
Why not? I mean, that's the deal with Legacy. You can't win any matchup, or every matchup rather.
yeah.
Sorry.
It depends. I mean, like if you play something like a mid-range blue deck or a Delver deck and you have a good sideboard, you should be able to get to at least 40% against most decks, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting list. Can I read off of it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Go
sure.
ahead.
Yeah, 2 Death Ride Shamans, 3 Mother of Runes, Fauna,
3 birds.
3 birds as well. He must
Yeah.
like the flyers, or maybe he just needs the colors.
I
Or
guess
the
he just needs the
consistency,
colors.
yeah. I
The
think it's the
consistency.
consistency.
Okay, but he's also playing how many fetch lands? Let me check. 8 fetch lands only. Okay. Yeah, then I can see the consistency of the birds clearly. All right. Yeah. Has Grip Ranger made a showing so far? I didn't.
No,
No.
no, we
Okay.
didn't see it yet, but beautiful.
Right
cards.
now
Yeah,
we're
range,
just seeing Mana
definitely.
Dorks and Leovold on both sides of the table and
Yes.
some removal battling against Mother of Rune.
Okay.
Not much else has happened.
Is there any chase in the buck list? I assume there are 2, probably, right?
Let me check. There is 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor and Leovold is actually just a one-off.
Wow.
Surprisingly.
Could easily see 2 there.
Yeah,
Wow.
agree.
Spell Queller, yeah. Gabriel is pointing out Spell Queller. I think interesting card.
But I
Yeah.
can
In
see.
Legacy?
Yeah, I can
You can-
definitely see
it's-
guys being blown out by that
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
Glen Elandra as well.
Glenalandra, yeah, but it's less sneaky, you see it coming more than Spell Queller. You
That's
can
true.
just Fauna Shaman it up and then,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that
Make
all
it-
instant speed.
But it's
actually, yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually quite cool because the deck uses a lot of the strengths that Maverick has without using that much consistency, I feel like. But it gets access to quite a big toolbox from blue, I feel.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe we can touch on his opponent's deck as well a little bit. Is it fairly standard, or what would stand out to
From what I've seen, it's very, very generic, yes.
you? Okay.
Like the bug list that came up maybe a couple of 4, 5, 6 months ago. I think Maurice Hartmann was the first one playing it. I'm not sure. Or I have always been bug mid-range lists, but like this particular list, usually 2 chits and okay, he's only playing 1. Only 2 true names, okay, I don't think so then. Because there were usually 3 true names and then 2 Leovolds, 2 chases.
He doesn't have that much removal. There's only 2 Fatal Push, 3 Abrupt Decay, and an Edict.
Okay.
Interesting, yeah. Does he have some sort of sideboard tech, a card which might stand out?
Not really. 2 marsh casualties
I mean,
are
the
worth
Liliana of
mentioning.
those is probably going to be good against like 6
Yeah.
Monarchs.
But
Okay,
otherwise,
right.
it's quite typical, like one of removals, one of discards.
Yes.
Ooh,
He's
Michael's
just adjusting the main deck, basically. He has a lot of cards in the sideboard that are already in the main deck as well.
Okay. It's actually interesting. Do you cast him to Turok on your opponent with a Leovold on the board?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Because
Seems
you
like
get
fun.
the card and you take 2 random. I mean, it's still
You trade
it's
quality
1 for 1.
Yeah, yeah. It's about quality versus quantity here. I
Yeah.
think you give him more, but you might hit potential
Yeah.
bullets, which he certainly.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm not. What is on the board? I just joined, so I have to check out that first.
There is
Werewolf,
a, I
Renegade.
think
Ah,
that's
okay,
a
alright.
scavenging ooze
I
on the
was
left.
just checking whether he had a Fauna Shaman already in play and might
Nope.
have searched something up, which I didn't catch because I just joined.
No,
Fauna
Fauna
Shaman
was
is-
forced actually. Yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
it was
okay.
forced.
Yeah, well,
Or the first one at least.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's been a second.
that was the second one that just got
Which was
discarded.
discarded. Okay. I mean, he has all he wants. I mean, I think there's a bit of a favor for the Buck deck because he has his Death Rights online and can start just draining, gaining some life.
If
Some
that
mo-
is actually a scavenging ooze, Deathrite Shaman
or
doesn't
turned
do
off,
that
you're
much.
completely right.
yeah.
Not entirely
Very
turned
nice.
off because he's on not that high amount of mana,
Yes, but
but
if he wants to, he can almost shut them down. Or make it really annoying to use them at least.
actually you could go for instant speed Glen Elendra with Aethervile, I just noticed. The deck does play Aethervile.
Yeah, so you can put it to 4, tap it, sack the Ethereal.
Oh yeah, there is actually a way to do that. Yeah, true.
Seems like interesting.
But what stands out to me is that there is no real toolbox for the knights. Am
There
I
is
right?
no knights, right? Is there?
Oh, sorry.
I don't
I'm
think there are
mistaken.
any
Sorry, I'm
knights.
mistaken. I just confused the picture there.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's
my
probably the biggest difference to the general Maverick lists, that there's no Knight
No,
of the
yeah,
Reliquaries in
there's
there.
Yes.
there's also nothing.
Yeah, that's what I basically meant. You trade the reliability and power of the knight for some utility from blue.
Hi, Rafi.
Ruffy's there. I think he likes a hawk.
Yeah, right. Likes or needs, you know. There's
always
fi-
likes
fi-
hawks.
Yeah, yeah. Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
We should do a groepjesmoezen
Yeah.
after this.
Oh, Michael really hugs his creatures as well. He got plenty of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he dealt with the Leovold, with the DK,
Yeah.
which was amazing.
Yeah, I think that was quite important at
Yeah.
this stage.
Getting a huge board advantage there.
Yeah. By the way, guys, if you're interested, the rest of the top 8 is Christian Hammer facing off Paulo Hitz, Misha Kalin facing against Ronnie Blaser, and Patrick Wild versus Alex Simmons.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, so we have D&T, we have Elves.
We have Bomberman.
That,
Yeah, the infamous Bomberman deck. Yeah, yeah.
I think Paolo is playing Grixis Delver, if he's doing the same as last Legacy. I'm
Okay.
not sure. And the other guys, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, no clue.
Yeah, Alex, you already mentioned Alex deck, right?
Yeah, he's playing D&T. We saw him the ramp before.
Okay.
Just he was playing last ramp before tops.
Okay.
The Sanctum Prelate joined the crew on the side of Michael Schlegel as well, and he's in a quite convincing lead right now. I don't think Buck Midrange is playing a main deck Wrath of Gods. No, I'm pretty sure there is none.
No. Like it would be Damnation.
Oh yeah,
Or
he
Toxic
just
Deluge.
No, Deluge, I mean.
And he scoops it up.
Yeah.
Just too many pesky creatures on the board.
Yeah, and there's a lot of value in Renegade Rallier and Mother
Yeah.
of Runes, and it's hard to deal with everything post-board.
yeah, that
pre-board.
was.
Did I see a Merieke? Does he really play? He plays a Merieke Ribenit in the sideboard. If you don't know this, what this does,
Oh
it's
my
kind
God.
Yeah, introduce us. Introduce us.
it's an Esper color 3-drop 1/1. It's a beautiful old lady.
Oh,
And if
now I
you
remember.
tap her, you gain control of target creature until she gets untapped, and you may choose to not untap her during your untap step.
All right.
A really old. I think it's from Legends.
Actually-
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I remember it. It got this time what was it? Time shifted. I think
Yeah,
it got time
yeah,
shifted
yeah,
once
yeah,
in
yeah.
Time
It's
Spiral.
it's
Spiral.
not that you can choose to untap it.
You
To
may
choose-
not. She doesn't untap during your untap step.
Exactly, she does not untap, and when she untaps, the creature gets destroyed. And when the creature is destroyed, I think she
Okay.
automatically
Untaps.
untaps in the next untap.
All
step.
right,
if
so
you
another-
manage to
so-
untap where you actually get to destroy
Exactly.
creatures, that's why the Script
Exactly.
Rangers are
Script
there.
Rangers there. That's so
So
beautiful.
nice,
That's so,
nice.
cute.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
cute
only
is the word
downside
for that,
is
I'd say.
that
Can I
it.
read the card? I really
yes.
don't.
We have to
This
pull it up.
sideboarding is going to be really interesting.
That's such a cool list.
We have for our Maverick player a 8/1 Canonist, probably not coming in Gilded Drake, beautiful. Probably not coming in Meddling Mage, maybe Thalia I would suggest. Big Game Hunter, no I don't see. Fairy Macabres, no. Merieke, I could see, but you're probably only stealing Death Rights or killing them. One Mirren Crusader, which I definitely would bring in. Sage, no. 2 more Sanctum Prelates, wow. I don't think so.
No, me neither.
Tireless Trackers for sure, Thrun for sure, and Wiltleaf Leech maybe. He didn't see any Lilianas. I don't know if there is. There's
But
one.
there,
in
yeah,
the
there,
list.
there are him. But
Him to drag. Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
All
they,
right.
I would probably leave them in if I were in. What's his opponent called?
Pascal, I think.
If
Yep.
I were in Pascal Schmid, I think maybe not the full amount, but
He's only playing 2, if I'm not mistaken. How many him to track are there? Yeah, he's only has 2.
he's
him
only
to
playing
track.
2. Okay.
And another one in the sideboard.
Okay.
But still, I think Wiltleaf Leech is still a huge threat, even if you cast it for 4 mana.
Yeah, definitely. Are there many removal from?
There is 2 Fatal Push and 3 Abrupt Decay in the main, and
Yeah.
some Edict effects. And
Alright.
there is 1 Fatal Push in the sideboard and another Edict.
Okay. Yeah, it's rather spread thin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, it doesn't really add something, which you really look for when you sideboard in the card.
Yeah, I think
Has
you
Toxic
probably
Deluge.
want the Toxic Deluge for sure, and possibly one of Marsh Casualties.
Yeah, the Liliana most likely.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Sorry, I got to play myself. So
Go ahead.
yeah, enjoy your cast and yeah,
So, yeah, you're playing in the LAN party, right?
yeah, right.
Why are you going to play, Gabriel?
The PUBG event, the duo event.
PUBG
Yeah,
event.
Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. If
Okay,
someone is
yeah.
not familiar with that.
Yeah,
And the
excellent.
tournament will start in 2 minutes.
Okay, wish you good luck for
All
that.
right, yeah. So enjoy your evening.
See ya, man. Actually, I want to adjust the name of the deck. Maverick doesn't seem appropriate.
Blue Mick, Blue Ick, Blue Maverick, Maverick Blue.
Let's call it Atraxa and stuff. It's a really cool deck. So I looked at Marike, and the way it works, she doesn't untap at all, never, during your untap step. And if she gets untapped or destroyed or otherwise leaves the battlefield, the creature gets destroyed.
Right.
So you need something to untap, which you have with Script Ranger,
Yeah.
and then you
That's
can just
actually
ping, ping,
broken.
ping,
You,
take over the board.
wow. And you automatically untaps as soon
No, she doesn't. She never untaps.
if even if the creature gets destroyed.
Yes.
Which, okay.
She never untaps. But it's still quite cute because if you have an effect like Script Ranger that you can use several times, you can just untap, 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 pew, pew, pew.
Yes, you can definitely do good stuff.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to see it in this situation.
No, because the only creature you see it probably is True Name, and this cannot be targeted, and there are not many
Agreed.
other big dudes. I mean, there are 2 Tarmogates, okay. And
Yeah, but are you really scared of a Tarmogoyf in this matchup?
no, especially not with this deck he's playing.
Where do you think the Atraxa player is going to board in this matchup?
I've mentioned Mirren Crusader. The Prelates I would leave out, I think. Thrun definitely comes in. Tireless Tracker comes in. Wellleaf Leech probably comes in.
Yeah.
Thalia for sure, and possibly a Meddling Mage.
What the Meddling
And-
Mage for?
The Merieke. Sweeper. Probably hit it on Toxic Deluge or Fatal Push or DK. Just kind of make it a bit more annoying for the Buck player to really deal with your threats. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense though. Probably I would not bring it in. Like it's really for the combo
Yeah.
matchup mainly. So
I don't think you need to sideboard a whole lot anyway.
no, you have a good matchup for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, with a deck like this, most of the things you want to do against a mid-range deck, your main deck already is supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm a bit astonished that we don't see more. Like I don't see a canonist. Sorry, not a canonist. A containment priest. There's only one Thalia. There are 2 Sanctum Prelate. Okay, of course. And he has a lot of dark, so it's usually
Yeah.
going to come down turn 2 against combo.
I think
Which will seal the deal.
his arguing it was that he's going to lose the dredge matchup anyways, because there's literally nothing except for the Fairy Macabre, which does nothing.
And there's only one, right?
Yeah.
No, there's 2 Fairy Macabre, and okay, he has an Ooze main and 2 Death Rides, but
Yeah,
I mean,
but
Ooze wins the game, obviously, but you have to be.
it's,
If you get the Ooze online before it has a full board, you win.
yeah,
you win with
there's
Ooze.
a lot of ifs. Like, just an Ooze in an average game probably doesn't get you there, and if you have to tutor for it, that costs another mana.
Okay. I can see that. But
So we have the Atraxa player mulligan into 5 already, I think, which is
unfortunate.
I haven't seen what kind of hands he has put away, but that's possibly because he has like so many weird one-offs and four colors and
Yeah, but still, he has 3 birds. He has 2 Death Rides. He has no Hierarchs, right?
no.
No, opting not to play any Hierarchs because of the colors. So he has 5 Monodorks. It's quite some. There's quite some fixing in it, I feel. Plus the green Sun it lets like. Arts of Pontiff is not green. Spellstead Sprite is not green. Prelate is not green. Spellqueller is not green. True Name, okay. There are actually not that many Green Suns targets. Now that I think about it. And
It's
still he
mostly
is
the Leovold,
laying
the
3.
Rallier, I
right.
guess Fauna Shaman,
Right.
Scavenging Ooze.
Probably mostly to give him the consistency of also finding his Monodorks which produce all colors and then let him cost anything.
Likely the most common use, yes.
But he starts off with a Vial, which solves all his mana issues usually.
Yeah. Also a great answer to the Death Ride Shaman because it produces at least a similar amount of tempo.
Yeah. Yes. Ooh, and he found a Jit in the Ponder. I suggest he keeps that.
Yeah. And he decides not to draw it.
Okay. Interesting.
I think he might be looking for more land. Or maybe he's not confident that he can stick the Jit to a creature.
That's also possible. Yeah, maybe he's afraid that he doesn't get it on. A Thoughtseize.
I thought he's revealing Leovold, 2 Green Sun Zenith, and the Birds of Paradise. That is quite a fragile hand, and he's opting to take one of the Green Sun Zenith away. He could have gotten for the Birds of Paradise as well, I feel, because without the bird... alright. I was gonna say without the bird, he's not likely casting Green Sun Zenith anytime soon on something useful. But if he has another discard spell, it's probably fine to take away the 2. Opting to cast the Bird of Paradise because he wants to use the Vial on the Mother of Runes at the end of turn. Marsh Casualties, wow. I think he could have waited for another turn to cast the Marsh Casualties. But obviously he can't expect the Mother of Runes top deck. But you usually marsh casualties, you don't want to trade it for just one creature. Michael drawing another land, which leaves him with Leovold in hand, I think, and nothing else. And Pascal still has quite a lot of cards in hand, so he's in a pretty good position, unless he has no answer to the Mother of Runes. But I think he has one. He clearly has several options, so Edict, yeah, there's the solution for the Mother of Runes. And he's opting to fetch for the Triad Arbor to sack into the Edict, which is quite a common play to do actually against Liliana and Edict. I don't know if Pascal anticipated that and wanted to kill a Dryad Arbor. Possibly to follow up with a Fatal Push or an Abrupt Decay. Or if he just doesn't have any other good options. And now Leovold is coming online. He probably wants to put the Leovold on the battlefield as soon as possible to deny any response trickery. Yeah, exactly. And Pascal already knew he had the Leovold because he saw it with Thoughtseize. Baleful Strix, not drawing a card? Nah. Just the 1/1 Death Touch. And Michael clearly feeling the effects of his mulligan to 5, being left with only one land. But I feel like he's still in this game because Aetherwile can produce most of his creatures at the moment. So he doesn't really rely on that many lands, as long as he has an active Aetherwile. But he would still like to be able to cast Abrupt Decay, Clan Nalandra, cards like that. Už možná mute. All right, guys, we are back. Sorry we missed quite a bit of action, but we had some technical difficulties. Seems like Pascal Schmid managed to get rid of the Aethervile and the Leovold and stick a Tarmogoyf for himself.
Yeah, alongside Battlestrix, that's right, but only on one land. I think there were a few wastelands involved. No, apparently not.
Yeah, I don't know where his lands went. Does Michael play any wastelands at all?
No,
I don't think
not
so.
a single one. Not a single one. That's why I'm a bit confused, but
And there's also no creature that destroys.
maybe he
lands
only had
on the
one
sideboard.
all along.
I think there were two. Yeah, there were
must
two.
be the-
I think there was a Bayou as well because he
Yeah,
did
that's
cast
right.
the
I
Marsh
remember.
Casualties
I
without
remember.
tapping the Deathrite Shaman. I remember that. Fatal
He
Push.
dazed, maybe, but okay.
I don't think he plays days. Pretty sure. he
Not at
doesn't.
all. Yeah, that's true. And we checked that earlier. Okay. And he finds his Fauna Shaman.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see
a
if we
little
can-
late though.
Yeah.
I think.
Although, okay, Mother of Runes has gone. Fallen to a Fatal Push. No, not at all. She's still there. Sorry.
Yeah, but he's so low on mana that he can't really abuse the effects from Fauna Shaman.
Yeah, I agree.
If he had like 3 or 4 lands, then yeah, sure, Fauna Shaman could get him back into the game quite quickly.
True.
But as it is now, it doesn't too much. And also,
No.
interestingly, Deathrite Shaman is quite bad for Michael now, because Pascal can basically use his Deathrite Shaman to deny Michael's Deathrite Shaman.
Yes. At least the mana for sure, and then depending on the
Yes.
colors he leaves open, also the activated abilities. But he finds a second land. He finds a second land. And there's no second Leovold, so maybe a true name coming down. What do you think?
Messi. Oh, we finally got some food, guys.
Sorry, but we're a bit desperate. Yeah, and it is a true name actually, so.
All right. Yeah, I think the mulligan to 5 really hurt Michael's ability to get into this game. If he had like 2 more cards that were lands, for example, this would be an entirely different game. Wait, there's Brainstorm in his list. Oh, that's so cool. So
Yeah,
it's basically
if he blasts
a
splashes
bond.
blue, he's not banned. Yeah,
It's basically
banned
a
black.
bond toolbox that splashes black for like 3 cards.
And Deathrite activations.
Yeah,
Bless you.
thanks. Is he using his Fauna Shaman? Discarding another Fauna Shaman? What do you think?
What
he's going
is he
for?
getting? Scrib Ranger to untap the Mother of Runes, to be
so
safe against removal and
That's
still
so
be able to
cute.
block the guy. And it has protection from blue and kills all Baleful Strixes attacking, so
Yeah,
it's
it's a good
wow,
card.
what a card, man.
It's a
what
good card. Can also untap Fauna Shaman as well. Not that you necessarily need to, but
A possibility. And you can also untap Deathrite, of course, to generate mana, which he's doing. And you can do that also once a turn, I think. But you have to return the forest, right? But you can cast a second mother now. Wow, okay.
he's actually kind of starting to get back into the game, even on
Yes, I'm a bit
Right.
afraid of Toxic Deluge or something similar, and then the guy
Marsh
just...
Casualties.
Yeah,
would be
Marsh Casualties
so
would be
big. That would
big
be
game,
amazing
probably.
right now. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said I think you were not here. He opted to cast Marsh Casualties to deal only with a Bird of Paradise. And he didn't know that he still had Mother of Runes in hand, but even still, I don't think you can afford to trade Marsh Casualties against just one creature. It's just so much value late game.
Yeah, it probably seemed appealing to mana screw him. But like one Marsh Casualties on this board is just But like, it's
That
so
would be
big.
game for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think his own board is almost lethal if he has some harsh casualties.
Yes. But he doesn't.
Patrick Wild winning with elves, advancing against Death and Taxes from Alex Simmons.
So I guess there were no Hours of Pontiffs from Alex's side.
Guess not.
And Brainstorm, before playing the...
Oh, he wasted
Before
himself
playing
for
the-
Revolt. Wow.
What does he find? He has a second Leo Volt, but as he had before the Brainstorm, I think a Spell Stutter Sprite?
Really?
I'm not sure.
Wow.
Great card. I love Spell Stutter Sprite.
The issue for Michael here is that his life total, he's kind of stabilizing on the board, but he's not really in a commanding position, so he can take over the board completely. And Pascal is just happily chewing at his life total with Deathrite Shaman and True Name Nemesis, and actually threatening lethal in 2 turns.
I mean, the Deathrite isn't the biggest problem, I think, since he can counter not by removing whatever his opponent targets, but just by gaining life while his opponent trains him. So this he can kind of equalize, but the True Name attacks are pretty... And, I mean, he could tutor here for... tell me, what's the name? Orts of Pontiff.
Orts of Pontiff, yeah. That would be quite huge as well.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. And I'm sure he boarded it in right
Yes,
in
for sure.
this matchup.
And another Baleful Strix. It's actually lethal next turn. Don't quite see what he discards there. But he is activating his Fauna Shaman end step. Let's see what he gets. That looks like a Pontiff there in the front. When it's
Scavenger moves?
where? In his hand?
Don't steal my food. And he scoops up. Yeah, I can understand. So we are.
Did he not board in the Pontiff? He didn't board in the Pontiff, that's why he scooped. He just put it into his deck.
Oh, wow.
Why does he not board in the Pontiff? Wow,
I
okay.
don't know.
Wow, what a shame.
But he's learning, I guess.
Yeah.
Learning as you
Yeah.
go. I don't think it would have been enough necessarily.
With,
Um,
with the
Pascal?
Pontiff killing the True Name? Yes.
You think so?
Yes. He would have stabilized, I think. He has 2 mothers online. Clive cannot get through. He can counter the left right by just
Yeah,
eating.
all the Baleful Strix die as well.
Yeah,
Did
exactly. It was
Pascal
1
not
for
have
4.
any counter magic at all?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure 100%.
Wow, so he lost because he didn't side in the one of Ports of Pontiff?
But yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. It's such a great card.
I mean, you're right. It still could have gone like in Pascal's way for sure. But
Yeah, he can just as easily top deck Toxic Deluge or...
yeah. And he only has 1, right? 1 Pontiff. That's it. It's also his only answer to True Name.
Which
right?
is fine. The deck has quite a bit of life.
Yeah, it
gain
doesn't
and
need
utility.
to have direct answers to true name. It can just go racing as well, or kill it eventually. Yeah. Must be slightly frustrating, like looking through your deck there and not finding the Pontiff, and then realizing, oh shit, I didn't board it in. Probably just,
Yeah.
I mean, this can happen easily, you know, like you overlooked a little detail or.
Yeah, and it's usually, I don't think it's that much a no-brainer to board it in this match.
No.
Because there's only 2 true name nemesis, and the
Baleful
Baleful
Strixus,
Strix is
yes.
not that much of an issue.
No. And the
Because
Death
you still
Rights
have
don't
Mother
die
of
to it, the
Runes
Ghost
and
die to
yeah,
it.
it's
I
fine.
mean, the Snappy dies also to it, so. Of course, again, he doesn't know the list, but it is actually quite okay against that list, I think. It can also be very okay, I think, pumping your team.
Yeah,
Like,
especially if you do it at instant speed.
by using that interval, both looking at their sevens. Let's see what and if they keep. Both players
Seems like
seem to be fine.
Michael has a quite land-heavy hand though.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's probably. You have to keep in mind these are just humans, and he's probably frustrated from last game as well, where he had to mulligan and then was quite mana screwed. So
Yeah, on 5, and he doesn't want to he doesn't want this to happen again.
yeah, but that's something that happens to quite a lot of players that they
Yep.
they get scared.
Scared or tilted, and
Yeah,
then
and then you basically skew the odds. Like you start keeping hands that are not good enough, but they
But
don't
you
have
hope
the
for
issue
it.
that you lost against last game.
yeah. The whole mind state, I think, is one of the most
Yeah.
important parts about.
It's like if you run into a Daze, you're going to play around Daze next game, even if he boarded it out, and it might be wrong to do so.
Yep.
Both players with their signature 1-drops quite happily developing their board.
DK on the vial. Activates and in response. Maybe as a Dryad Arbor, you never know. You like the DK there? Or will you wait for the threats?
I think playing against Ethervile in this deck is just very scary. So,
Yeah.
and he knows he doesn't have a second one because he missed playing the Ethervile on the first turn.
But he just
Because
drew
the top
one.
deck- yeah, he just drew it. So I can understand it. I think I would do the same.
Okay. Like, it gives them so much value, and then on the other hand, like,
Look what he drew. There's another one Ethervile.
yeah, I saw it.
Oh,
That's what I say. And then it feels really bad to have DK to first file, right?
yeah, it sucks. Sylvan Library coming down for Pascal. Do you think it's a very good card in this matchup?
Yes. I think in most matchups it's a good card. I personally love the card. In some matchups you cannot abuse it, which is a bit unfortunate. So it only kind of lets you not brainstorm, but just choose what you draw and then fetch away the rest. But like in such a matchup, and depending on the deck you play, it can just win you the game because you draw 3 cards, waste your opponent out of the game, remove his creatures from the board. Gets you so far ahead. And of course 8 life is a lot, but if the opponent has a fair deck and no board and no bolts, then it doesn't really matter what life you are, as long as it's not 0.
Yeah. And Truxa player doesn't really have a way of punishing the Sylvan Library. Usually if you play Library, it's kind of a slow play to make in Legacy, I feel. And once you start paying life, you're
unless
like
you do it in
yourself,
Infect turn 2 of Enigma Nexus.
Yeah. You can start getting behind on tempo quite heavily, but against this kind of deck, which is kind of grindy, mid-rangey, it doesn't really matter.
It's true.
It's not like he's playing a Grixis Delver deck or Burn
Very
or
true.
aggro.
Alright, he gets to use it now. Let's see how much he abuses it. Because there's no creatures on the board for his opponent. Can easily see him like in such a position that I would at least draw 1 extra card just for sure. To get deeper, to get more cards. He's playing Brainstorm, so in my eyes, he should be using it.
Yeah. Just to not fall behind on cards, because if you don't draw an extra card, you don't get to counter with the card, and it's just selection.
Exactly.
And he did draw an extra card, so he agrees.
That's a 15. Has a Ponder now, gets to
Yeah.
rearrange the top of his library.
There's actually a Chitte, which is...
Sorry?
There's a Chitte in the Ponder.
Okay. He didn't want it the first game. Was it the first game where he had Chit? And
No,
he,
the second one. I think.
and he fetched it away, I think.
Yeah. And another Baleful Strix. Just getting ahead slowly but steadily. It's kind of what Bug does, right? It's
Yeah, especially with like just 2 guys, but 3 Strixes, drawing cards,
yeah.
destroy
You're just-
everything your
You're
opponent
just
does,
doing
and then win the game.
efficient trades.
The commentators are, by the way, the one and only handsome Jonas Walter from Zurich. He's our main caster here. Beautiful young man.
And joining me is Matthias Oberist.
And we are at the 3K Legacy in Sursee. It's a LAN party here, lock and load, and Gameplays has managed to get a spot here for a rather big Legacy tournament for Swiss circumstances, I'd say.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest Legacy tournaments I've seen in quite some years.
Yeah.
Michael Schlegel going for a Fauna Shaman with his Green Sun Zenith. So Pascal is kind of on a clock because Fauna Shaman, I feel like it can take over a game if left unchecked.
Yes.
But with Shuffle
Lets him
Effects
find what
and
he
Ponder
wants.
and Sylvan Library, we can
It's gonna be hard.
pretty safely assume that he's going to find the solution for the Shaman.
Yes.
Even though he doesn't play that much removal.
And if not, he should have at least another threat to really put pressure on his opponent. And then, I mean, if he gets to activate it once, it's okay.
We finished numbing. Sorry, guys. We were so fucking hungry because we messed up our order between the last rounds.
Yes, we are
So
very
we were
sorry.
Very hungry.
We are done with, but we were starving, so.
Give us a break, man. We've been in for like 10 hours. Almost. And we see Chitty
He handles
now.
it
Yeah.
with a jit. And
That's-
hate to say it, but this is close to. It's only a Baleful Strix, but judging his hand, there's not a lot he can do. All right, Ooze. Ooze is okay.
Yeah.
Finds a Zenith, I think.
I mean, I don't know the deck too well, but I don't think there's that much he can do at this point. There's not that many comeback mechanics for situations like this.
No, but all he needs to do is kill the Jit. So if he boarded in his Sage,
Which we can safely assume he did.
I think so, yes.
Because it's not just the Chit, it's also the Baleful Strix and the Sylvan Library.
I agree. The problem is he doesn't have the 4th land to Zenith for.
Yeah, that's true.
And if he doesn't ooze this Koozie at least once this turn, he's not. Is he getting a Scrib Ranger? Wow, this would be nice, I think. No, he's getting a second Fauna Shaman? Alright, I mean, it's his deck. I'm sure he knows what he does. Gets a Fauna
Yeah.
Shaman.
Just to save the Scavenging Ooze, I would assume. I
But
think he
could just
also
eat
has.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the other
Yeah,
thing is,
that's
if he
true.
gets a Scrib Ranger, he gets to bounce a forest,
that's true.
replay it, has a protection from blue, so if Baleful Strix attacks, it dies. Okay, Chitta gets 2 counters, but then he can only kill the Scrib Ranger and not the other guy.
It's also worth mentioning that he is holding a Sanctum Prelate in hand, so possibly he is trying to bait the Chitta activation on the Fauna Shaman to stick the end of turn Sanctum Prelate. Could be an option.
That's true.
Because if he uses Scavenging Ooze, Chitte will just
well.
have 2 tokens and still be quite a nuisance in the next turn.
And there's a Wasteland for the Bug player, which
A nice
Ah.
wasteland, by the way.
It's
Very
gonna
nice
hurt.
alteration.
yes, it's true. And wow, a
Nice.
Pontiff.
So
That is a
cute.
really good way
So
to get back into
cute.
this game.
It's just killing a Baleful Strix at this point, but the timing is quite cool.
Well,
Is it enough though? I mean, the Chitta remains still on the battlefield.
5 mana.
Oh,
What is this?
that's
Oh,
so
March Casualties for
big.
with kicker.
Is he deciding
Wow, that's
not to haunt anything?
brutal.
Yeah, he haunts the
That
left
is
right.
brutal.
So for those of you that don't know how Orts of Pontiff works, it has an enter the battlefield effect, and when he dies, he can haunt a creature, and when that creature dies, the same effect will appear again. So if the Deathrite Shaman dies, he will get to choose whether his creatures get an additional +1/+1 until end of turn, or his opponent's creatures -1/-1.
Really tricky ability, which is not seen on many cards printed.
Yeah.
And yeah, the only one really played, I think, is
It's also difficult to make it work. I mean, if you have haunt on a creature, that means it has to die, and then the haunted creature has to die as well. So you don't usually get to choose the timing of the second activation, which is kind of bad.
right. Right.
Does he have a solution for the Chitty now? No, he's still not
On
on
2
4
mana? I don't think so. What is there in 2 mana? does he go
He
for?
does have a Pride Mage main deck, but it's not really a solution for the... I guess a first strike creature could work as well, but I don't think he has
but
one.
there's no green first strike creature, I think.
No.
Thalia maybe. He gets another phone or someone.
Yeah.
Well, that's also interesting because, okay, he attacks, then he can block. He gets +1/+1.
Yeah,
because
but
the
the
Death
Chitty
Ride
can-
dies. He gets
yeah.
2 Chitty counters. I agree, but Chitty is empty and there are potentially no creatures on the board, which would be quite nice for him.
Yeah,
Or
but Pascal still has an active library and 2 cards.
Yeah, I know. It's like far away from winning the game, very far,
But it's not over yet.
no. He
It-
has
It
a
looked a lot worse 2 turns ago.
couple of more turns. If he found a Leovold there, it would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, Leovold would be great against the Chitty.
He tapped the library. Excellent.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure.
There you go.
Tap all your permanents. Now he goes for the prelate. Interesting.
Ah. I'm guessing on 1.
Giving it a long thought.
Yeah.
You would wish to see the hand of his opponent now.
It's Taxin Probe, man. It's a good card. It's jokingly tapping the library again. He could still afford to draw another card from the library.
By far. By far. Like every card, his opponent is empty-handed, so every card he gets ahead right now, he's not under big pressure at all. We'll close the game more and more. I was surprised. Like I understand that you cast this match casualty, but I was wondering, couldn't he have cast it simply with the Death Ride and then wasted still, or maybe the Hiddick, maybe cast Ponder and I forget about it, but
I don't know. I think he used everything.
yeah, it must
That
be
ride
like,
was tapped, right?
Thanks, Cortus, by the way. Always appreciate the feedback. If you have any improvement things we do bad, you would like to change us, whatever, put it in the chat or give feedback. I think on the Facebook page of Gameplays, they installed a feedback page. I saw things hanging around, flyers. So just Google it for it. I don't know, feedback Gameplays, you will find it, I'm sure. And leave your comments there. Always happy to get anything back. And there's the value for our buck player.
Yeah.
And this will most likely help him close out the game.
Yeah.
Oh, land into collected company into everything would be amazing, but unfortunately
Into everything. Boom.
What do you think about sideboard collected company in Legacy?
I think he needs an Ancestral Recall and a Tinker. Into everything.
Into everything. Into Mindslaver, right? Into
Now, what was your question? Collected company in the sideboard.
yeah, in such a deck, for example, in Legacy against fair matchups. What do you
I
think?
think you can't really spare the sideboard slots. I don't think you can. If you
Okay, because you
if-
need it
if
for the
the-
unfair matchups?
yeah, if the matchup is not that diverse and you don't really need your sideboard against like half of the field, yeah, sure, why not? But it's obviously quite bad main deck, so
Yeah, well, yeah, depending on what you play. You
4
don't
mana is
see-
a lot.
4 mana is a lot, but 2-3 mana creatures is quite. Okay, that's the problem with the card as well, right? It's potential 2-3 mana creatures, and in worst case, it's 4 mana for nothing,
Yeah.
which you cannot really afford to do in Legacy, I suppose. But
Yeah.
the high end reward is quite big. If you get like Knight Prelate or I don't know, Prelate Sage.
Yeah, sure. It has the potential to be big, but it's also quite unstable. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you want the stability in a deck like this.
Yes. And he wouldn't be able to cast it anyway, neither off his vial nor his two lands.
Yeah. That's the issue. Like, there's a big difference between 3 and 4 mana in Legacy,
That's
and
true.
that's not taking in
That's very
account
true.
the daisies and spellkings.
Very, very true. Goif joining the party, and at this point, it's a rather formal thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any chance coming back from
Yeah,
this.
and I believe the creature is a Birds of Paradise in hand.
Yeah,
and he
and
knows
he
it and scoops it
concedes
up.
it. Yeah, summary, I think Sylvan Library won the game. You agree? Or just Mulligan and Mana Screw on the left hand side?
I think the combination of Chitte that never got answered and the kicked marsh casualties were the two deciding factors.
Alright.
But
I mean,
you could
I agree,
argue
but what
he found
got
them
him
because
to this
of
point
library,
is the
which
library.
it sure was a good card. Yeah.
Which he didn't abuse it to the point where you could. I think I will at least taken, or you could at least take 2 more cards off it. I mean, okay, 6 is very low, I agree, but you have a Death Right, you have a Chit, so if there's no pressure,
Yeah.
and this deck is not playing any range
Yeah,
in terms of bolts
but
or...
on the other hand, he was in quite firm control, so abusing it just makes you kind of vulnerable. So
To what?
to I don't
Scream
know.
Ranger?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, okay. There might be a Scream Ranger killing you eventually, but I don't think this is going to happen. I don't know. I just,
I don't know.
like, the
there,
odds
there
of
was,
you...
but there is an Atterwile on the board. So there's always the potential of like Vendilion click or Recruiter. He doesn't know that there is no Recruiters. Or just end of turn, like, I don't know. If there's a Vial on the battlefield and I'm playing against a weird deck like this, I'm scared.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, and what we forgot is game 2 not having your Orcs of Pontiff, and we see it on the battlefield. I think they
Yeah.
are talking about it as
I
well.
think this could have been a 2-0.
He would have won it, yeah. I'm very, very sure.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So 2-1 for Pascal Schmid with Buck going into the semi-finals.
Yeah, let's see if we
Playing
can catch
against, I
one
don't
of the
know.
players for
Yes.
a short interview.
And have a short interview, have a short break maybe, toilet stuff, and talk to you in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here with Michael Schlegel, who was playing the Atraska and stuff, as we called it last game.
Basically Commander in Legacy, yes.
Yeah, feels bad, man. So close. How did it feel not hitting the Ords of Pontiff in the game 2?
Yeah, I felt very bad. I felt like an idiot because I boarded it out. Because I'm not supposed to, but I somehow didn't see anything that dies to it game 1 and forgot that I'm actually supposed to keep it in, and I think I would have won if it was there, but I mean, he could have forced or something, so I don't know. But yeah, I felt like an idiot, but it happens. I'll learn.
Shame. So tell me about this list. It looks really cool.
Yeah, so I used to play a lot of Commander, and when Hammer, who's now playing in the semifinals, got me into Legacy, he gave me a list close to this because that's what I enjoyed, and I've been tuning it since, and it's changed quite a lot, but it's still like the toolbox, play cool creatures, make fun plays, and just generally enjoy yourself deck.
And also play the best blue card there is, Brainstorm, as well.
Sure, yeah, Brainstorm is very good in this deck because there's a lot of one-ofs you want to find / get rid of, and you run additional shuffle effects to the fetch lands in Green Sun Zenith and Fauna Shaman.
Yeah. Did you actually try Stoneforge Mystic as well in the deck?
I ran one for a very short time, but it's so awkward with just the Jitte.
Yeah.
And I eventually figured out that I'm not running the Jitte as something I want to be able to find. Like if I'm tutoring for a creature and I get Stoneforge for Jitte, it's either to kill 1/1s, in which case I'd rather get Oars of Pontiff,
Yes.
to gain life, in which case I'd rather get like an Ooze or an Atraxa, or to just win races, which is Scribranger, Deathrite, or True Name, or Atraxa again. So
Yeah, sure. How many games have you won on the back of Atraxa?
a lot. It's usually you try and survive. If you survive against Delver and you eventually land that, you just win, and it gets you random free wins. Say you're playing against Aggro Loam and they have a Chalice, and you proliferate their Chalice to 2, and you just turn off half their deck. That feels pretty sweet.
So cool. Yeah, I love to see a card. Feels like a 4-mana Baneslayer Angel, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So talk to me about Script Ranger. It looks like the card does basically anything in his deck.
Yeah, Scribranger is amazing. It does everything. I don't know. It's your opponents misplay into it a lot, and it generally just synergizes with a lot of cards in the deck. Like with Dryad Arbor, you have a blocker that you can repeat the same way Elves does.
Yeah.
With a Mana Dork, you're crafting a colored Soul Ring, and with a Deathrite, you have an incredibly quick clock. With a Mother of Runes, basically your creatures can never die. You can untap Fauna Shamans again to tutor again. You can attack and block with big creatures. It triggers Revolt.
Yeah, sure.
It's a fairy for Spellstutter Sprite. It
That's
just
so cool.
does everything.
Actually, someone in the chat was suggesting Vengevine, and you could theoretically use it as well to discard Vengevine, untap the Fauna Shaman with the Script Ranger, and to get the Basking Rootwalla and cast it, and then cast another creature. Probably
I mean,
too cute though, right?
Back when Survival was legal, I think this was actually played.
Yeah, it was.
I think now it's too slow already, and then you add Deathrite Shaman to the equation, and then it's just bad, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And the card itself is not that great. It's like Atraska is just better.
The only card I play because it's good when you discard it is actually the sideboard Big Game Hunter, which you can cast off Madness when you're searching with a Fauna Shaman, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, speaking of the sideboard, there's like quite a few interesting choices. Would you like to talk about that as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's some... I used to play Force of Will in the sideboard. I currently don't because I don't see as much combo, but there's still some...
seems quite low.
Yeah, but there's still some combo hate, like there's your Canonist, your Meddling Mage, your Prelate. Then there's some creatures that take your opponent's creatures, because sometimes your opponents are unfair and they cheat Emrakuls or whatever into play. And you have to take them away with Gilded Drake to kill them, and then it just has some additional pieces, some value pieces like Tracker, Run for the control matchups.
Yeah,
Wiltleaf Liege, which is really sweet because you can tutor it in response to Kolaghan's commands or Hymn to Torrents.
Yeah, that's so
Sadly,
good.
it didn't come up this game, but I've had it happen. And
Yeah, I think he probably boarded out the Hymn to Torrent.
yeah, that seems likely. Actually,
I think I saw one in game 2.
Yeah, the game's going long. I don't see.
Yeah.
They're grindy. It's.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, you could also have a Lily or whatever. Like it's.
What was your game plan against Stretch? Because we were actually looking at the sideboard and we're like, whoa, there's like nothing.
My Dredge matchup's pretty bad. My main
You're
deck-
just are you just happily accepting the fact that you're likely going to lose the matchup?
yeah, my main deck matchup is actually, I think, above average compared to the rest of the field because you have tutorable oozes with a lot of
Yeah.
mana and you have death rights that you can untap.
Yeah.
But my sideboard hate is very lackluster. And
Yeah.
yeah.
But very cool deck. Thank you very much for talking with us.
Thanks for having me and good luck to everyone still playing.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys, we are back, but with not so good news.
Good news and bad news.
Depending on the point of view. We would have liked to continue a bit, but the players decided to split in the top 4.
Very sad. So sadly, we're not going to see any more Legacy live on screen.
Unfortunate. But so you know, the last 4 players and decks remaining were Christian Hammer with Imperial, not Painter.
Imperial Bomberman.
Imperial
He
Bomberman.
does play Painter in the sideboard. You could basically just say any cards and probably something along these lines
Any
is in the
weird
deck.
card you ever saw in some strange combo deck, and you will find it in Christian's list.
Yes. So a combo deck. We had Pascal Schmid, which we saw on stream twice with the Buck midrange list. We have Misha Kalin, which he played an Esper Fairy Blade list.
Wow, what a shame we didn't get to see that.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that actually. And Patrick Wild with Elves. So congratulations to these 4 players. I don't think anybody is here right now because they're currently discussing how they want to split their duels.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. I would have loved to see something like the Bomberman versus the Esper Fairy deck.
Yes, definitely. Would have
That
been
would
a
have been cool.
really interesting matchup.
I'm pretty sure I saw some Bitter Blossoms in the upper tables. I'm guessing that was the Fairy
yes.
deck,
Yes.
which is quite cool. Bitter Blossom and equipment, Spell Stutter Sprite probably.
Well, just cheat as equipment, I would say. Or what do you mean by equipment?
he said to me it was as per Fairy Blade.
Oh,
and
sorry. Okay, as per Fairy Blade.
So I'm guessing there was
okay.
Stoneforge Mystic and
For sure.
a sword as well.
For sure.
And possibly even better skull
Yeah,
than our
to,
cyborg.
to gain life and such,
Yeah.
and everything. Yes. So let's wrap this up. Thanks a lot, I would say.
Thank you guys for watching. If you
was
have any
fine.
comments, drop us a comment or anything on the Twitch stream or on the Facebook page. And let us know if you have any questions or just anything, basically.
Whatever, yeah. If you want to congratulate Jonas for his beautiful beard, or just in general because such a good person. And yeah.
Any final words, Mattu?
More love, more magic. Keep it up. Play Legacy.
It's good enough.
And have a good Easter Sunday, guys. Hope to
Thanks.
see you next time. And
Yeah, the
Cheers.
next 1K Legacy is in May, I think.
I have no clue, to be honest, but I think, yeah.
It will be announced on the gameplays website.
.ch, yeah.
Yes, you
Just
can
Google
find it there.
gameplays.ch. If you want to play Legacy in Switzerland,
Yeah.
you'll find it there.
Thank you so much for organizing the tournament gameplays.
Yes,
It's been
congrats
great.
to
They
Flucci and
didn't
Raffi.
sleep a lot.
No, they were quite nervous.
Yeah, there's so many people here, and
And it was
amazing.
extremely good organized, especially from the feedbacks as well we heard from people. So, cool stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do more of this.
Thank you guys for watching. See ya.
Bye.